Okay, so now let's say that you don't have access to Photoshop, but you've been able to get the images sized correctly, maybe from a photographer or whoever you're dealing with. But you want to put some type of headline or display type. Certainly you can do that through Photoshop, and you would just upload it. The caveat there would be if there's important type that's on an image, that's going to be an accessibility issue. So that's where in that descriptive alt text field, I would be more concerned about making sure that type is in there and it's readable for screen readers as opposed to describing what's going on in the image. Ideally, if you can fit both in there and the character count available, that'd be great. The alternate option, though, to outputting or putting type on an image through Photoshop is to output that through a field in the content type that Drupal allows, and that's actually going to be text that can be interpreted through a screen reader, so from an accessibility standpoint, you don't have an issue. All right, so if we scroll down here, that's basically what this display text field is. Now, you want to be real careful with the syntax. There's actually some text here that you can copy and paste and drop in. And you've got two fields, but I really wouldn't recommend putting two sets of headlines on an image. I think that's going to be confusing. I think you want to keep this pretty simple. But the idea here is that we've got a y coordinate and an x coordinate. And the y is, how far down from the top left, and the left, or the x-coordinate is how far over from top left horizontally. So the idea is that we can position this text wherever we want on the image relative to how the image is composed, where the sort of quote-unquote negative space is that would be more ideal to put that image so it doesn't really disrupt the focus or the main composition of that image. Your text here can be anything that you want to put. We have cool walking trails, if this was somehow related to fitness. Okay, so basically with that position in this text, Drupal's going to output that and drop it in based on those XY coordinates. Now it may not be perfect, and the idea is you want to play around with this until you get it just exactly so. Once your site is live, this is a perfect example of where you want to go over to the development server and actually do some testing and get the positioning right, and then drop that in on the appropriate spot on the live server. So as you can see, we're kind of cutting off her face a little bit, so maybe we need to move this up a little bit higher, a little bit lower, one or the other or both. So if we go back in and edit that, let's just drop it down maybe 30 pixels vertically. So if I scroll down here and make that 80 and save it and jump back and refresh this, and then I need to click over to my second image. Okay, now you can see we moved it down a little bit. Still may not be ideal, but hopefully you get the point of how that works in terms of positioning it. Now, it's set up in such a way that no matter whether we put that in all caps or lowercase, Drupal is outputting it as an all cap, just to be consistent with what we're doing on other pages and other sites that we've already created. So that's a style that you can't control. It does give you a little background layer so that type will always display properly no matter what the background of the image is. That white on black will make that type legible.